For months, the extremists of ISIS, now calling themselves simply Islamic State, have been pumping out video as they seize more and more of Iraq, threatening the breakup of the country. But now, for the first time, the Islamists have come under direct American attack. The first attack was launched from an aircraft carrier in the Persian Gulf. The Pentagon says 2 FA-18s dropped laser-guided bombs on militants shelling Kurdish forces. These are thought to be pictures of that American strike, carried out because the city of Erbil is under threat. Washington says more fighter jets and drones were used in attacks on mortar positions and an Islamist convoy.
To stop the advance on Erbil, I've directed our military to take targeted strikes against ISIL terrorist convoys should they move toward the city.
But Washington is also committed to helping religious minorities facing massacre by the Islamists. These pictures of the Yazidi people fleeing for their lives onto a barren mountain without food or water shocked the world. And today, speaking from the mountain, one of their leaders stressed their vulnerability.
The clashes now is very, very close from where I stand, and now there is clashes among the final line of resistance. They will kill all of us, and we don't think we have enough time.
Now the first supplies have reached some of the Yazidi. Iraqi authorities say these pictures, although impossible to verify, show a helicopter delivering aid. The Yazidi religion is older than either Christianity or Islam, but is enough to make them targets of the extremists who overran their town.
When we face a situation like we do on that mountain, with innocent people facing the prospect of violence on a horrific scale, when we have a mandate to help, in this case a request from the Iraqi government, and when we have the unique capabilities to help avert a massacre, then I believe the United States of America cannot turn a blind eye.
Facing this crisis, let's look first at the plight of the Yazidi people, forced to flee their homes and seek refuge here, high up on the barren slopes of the mountains above Sinjar. As this map shows, they took what's really the only road up the mountain. And we now have reports that some essential supplies, including food and water, have apparently been delivered from the air in an effort to keep them alive. But what if the Islamist extremists try to pursue them up the mountain? The hope must be that they could be spotted and attacked by American strike aircraft. Further east, the other religious minority under threat from the jihadists is the Christian community. Their major centre, the town of Kwarakwash, has already fallen. Among those Christians who did escape, some have now reached the Kurdish city of Erbil. In Erbil, some have found refuge in this church, but worry about relatives they've lost contact with. In Brussels, some of the extended families of the Yazidi trapped on the mountainside appealed for action to end what they call a genocide. In London, an emergency meeting of ministers authorised British military involvement in relief missions to drop aid, but not in any sort of combat mission.
Our focus is on assisting that humanitarian mission and in using our military in support of the Americans in terms of refuelling and surveillance to underpin their mission and to add to it with food drops of our own.
From behind the soundproof glass of the Oval Office, a glimpse of President Obama briefing allies, amid fresh anxiety about reports that hundreds of Yazidi women may have been captured by the Islamists, who now pose an increasing threat not just to Iraq, but the entire region. James Robbins, BBC News.